The king's back. 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 The king's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is Wake Up with the actual King Smith. It is Wednesday, November the 19th, and it looks like the people have spoken, and these Epstein files are about to get released. That kind of impacted me going live today. It was almost like my computer did not want to wake up. Because just like the president, it's like it didn't want me to talk about these Epstein files, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Bitcoin has caused the broad crypto market to go into a panic as people are looking at tech stocks in general, everything that AI is doing. And I guess there's a little bit of a panic around that asset class. I'm going to call it an asset class. Y'all might not call it an asset class, but I'm going to call it an asset class. And I'm wondering why. I'm going to see if we can try to analyze and figure out what's going on with that. But first, let's get into the Epstein files. All right. So yesterday, during last night's House and Senate votes, the House of Representatives almost unanimously voted to pass the bill that was written in place to get those Epstein files released. Everybody but one representative voted for it. And once it passed the House, it went to the Senate, where the Senate swiftly passed to release the files as well. So today it's going to sit on the president's desk. We're going to see when the president gets that bill to sign, how quickly he signs it, and what the press says about it before everything's released. And when those files get released anyway, do y'all think that there's actually going to be an impact that hits anybody's desk, that hits anybody's face once those files get released? I don't think so. I think a couple of things are going to happen that we've already seen. We've already seen this story in the past. I think some stuff is going to be redacted in a manner that people that aren't a part of the intelligence community or folks in the know, we're not going to see the 100% picture, the actual factuals, if you will. Two, if Teflon Don hasn't been taken down already by anything that he's done, I don't think that there's going to be anything that comes out of any of the new information that we see that's going to make a dent or a change in anything. The man has been, I almost said something that I shouldn't have said. He's been immune to the things that the average person just is not immune to. And it's actually kind of interesting to see it happening as it's all happening live. There was a reporter that asked President Trump if he had the ability to just release the files himself, which he does, then why didn't he just do it? And instead of answering the question like a baby, I wish I would have had the sound effect ready for this live stream so that I could have played it for y'all to hear. He deflected so hard and was like, I don't like your tone and the way that you just said that. And the person just asked it in a manner that was stern, firm, just like he would when he's talking to somebody. So, I mean, just it baffles me the way that this guy has been able to lead this country and avoid all kinds of consequences that the average person falls into. So I'm curious if you think that the public, people like me and you, will be able to get full transparency on this, or if the release of these Epstein files is just going to be another smoke and mirrors case in which they've taken all this time to redact. Let's make sure that this don't get out. Let's make sure that that don't get out. And if there's actually going to be any real sense of justice by these files being released and the truth, and I'm doing air quotes, the truth getting released. Does things like releasing names without context help anything or create more chaos? I think it adds more to the chaos. And this release, when it happens, when it actually happens, isn't going to do anything. I'm going to be listening today as I'm studying. Today, I'm going to kind of go off the grid after my live stream as I'm studying for the CompTIA Security Plus exam tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I am going to keep my ear to the news on these Epstein files because it's got me real curious to see what the president does when he signs it and what the press and people say to him once he gets those things on his desk. I don't think that the file should be sealed. Shout out to God Happened to Me, said good Wednesday morning. Jesus Rivera said Democrats don't understand what they just did. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Put me up on game. Let me know what you're saying by that, Jesus or Jesus. And I appreciate you tuning in. God Happened to Me said those files about to be so heavily redacted. Yeah, it's just going to be black bar is to be black bar, and then black bar. It's just going to be redacted. It's just going to be redacted. And that's what's been taking so long. When the president campaigned, he campaigned on transparency. Something like the information and things that's going to be released when all of this information and data comes out. If you had nothing to hide, you'd be like, hey, I got nothing to hide here. But he did. So it is what it is. But let me know if I'm thinking about this improperly. God Happened to Me said, I like the format and layout of this show. Appreciate it. Yeah. So I think you're watching it on the vertical format, something that StreamYard has allowed me to do where I can simul stream between two different layouts, and it actually pushes it out to more people. I see a lot more people are watching this format. So thank y'all for tuning in. Jesus said that this is not going to do anything to Trump. I don't think it is. I don't think that it is either. Just put the files out, and why else would they finally release something that they adamantly swore it did not exist? Yes. See, how quickly people forget. People forget that the narrative at one point was that these files don't exist. There are no Epstein files, and these files don't exist. Yes, we've already seen some of the emails. I think that there is going to be information in there that can be damaging, but it's only going to be damaging to a few people. And just like Jesus said, it's not going to touch President Trump. America and Trump needs to move on. You know, that one right there, I can sort of kind of agree with that. I think America, though, needs to move on with the actual true leader. Now, I'm prior military, and when you're in certain positions in the military, you understand like what leadership is. If you grew up playing sports, things like that, you get what leadership is. I don't see leaders in politics. I don't think we have a leader in our current president. I want to like the guy. I want to respect the office of the president of the United States. But I don't see that we have a leader in the Oval Office right now. That's my 2 cents on it. And I can be critical. Hey, to anybody that's watching this, don't come after me. Let's see, we passed the you should have put it out BS line. Absolutely. And things are different now. I agree. We'll see what impact that this is going to have on it for sure. Now, let's take a look at what happened with crypto. If y'all are into crypto like me, put it in the comment section and let me know if you've invested anything in crypto. I'm primarily looking at a couple of different things with crypto. XRP is one that I am heavily invested in. And I'm invested a little bit into Bitcoin. Now, the crypto market overall was almost at $4 trillion up until last night, in which over about 48 hours, just under $1 billion got wiped, with Bitcoin going from over 100,000 to where it brushed and it kissed 89,000 for about a little bit, and now it's sitting right at about 91,000 going forward. And people are wondering, hey, what's happening? Is the crypto scale finally going away? Crypto is not going anywhere. The overall current market cap is 3.2 trillion as of right now, plain and simple. I am not going to tell anybody what they should invest in or do with their money around Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general. I can tell you that I am heavily into XRP, and that in 5 years from now, I'm curious how this early investment, in which I think is an early adoption for XRP, is going to look for me and my net worth going forward. I've shown on some of my other live streams where I make purchases of XRP almost daily. Actually, no, I do make a purchase daily, and I made a daily purchase for about the last year or so. And it doesn't start with you needing a big amount to do it. I have a daily purchase of $4 a day. And you're going, that's peanuts. and it is, but it is a small accumulation over time for a cryptocurrency that right now is at 128 billion by market cap. And I think that when you see things like global adoption for what Ripple and their team is going to be doing, and you've got a lot of inflows coming in for a certain asset class over time where you just had ETFs approved for it, then given time, you could see XRP's market cap doing something similar to where Ethereum or Bitcoin is sitting in its market cap right now. Ethereum's market cap is right around $370 billion. If you take a look at where Ethereum was, let me see, about a year ago. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Ethereum's market cap, and let's go back about 1 year. At one point, Ethereum's market cap was 100 billion around April of 2025. And I'm going to show y'all here on the screen what it is that I'm looking at so that y'all can see, like, where's he getting this information from? Okay, this is the aggregator Coin Gecko. If you look at the market cap, this is Ethereum. Just this year, it got down to roughly about, let's see, the lowest that I can find is 189 billion before rising up to 582 billion in market cap. And it's slowly kind of been going sideways and then tapering off here, right? And I'm not sure where it's trending, but I'm not worried about the now so much as where things are going in the future. Again, I'm looking at certain asset classes and 2030 and beyond. XRP is currently fourth in market cap, and this is where I was saying around 128 billion is where it's at now. But I'm looking 5 years from now, 10 years from now. A lot of things are in the red, which is interesting. And what is this white Bitcoin? And where did it come from? Anyway, a lot of red, a lot of uncertainty, but that's okay. I think that when you look at some of the ETFs inflows, as a lot of these exchange traded funds get approved, I think that we're going to see a lot more money coming in, and that's going to drive the price of certain cryptos going up, and I'm going to be a part of it. Absolutely. A lot of these meme coins, I've gotten out of the meme coin space. I'm away from them. I think that if you get in early on some stuff, it can make you money, but I'm not going to be interested in that whatsoever. Are y'all buying crypto? Are y'all buying the dips like I am? Or are y'all staying away from it completely? Let me know in the comment section what y'all are doing with crypto. God Happened to Me said, when it comes to the Epstein files, as I said a few weeks ago, releasing the files will do nothing, considering the fact that this administration has faced no consequences thus far for anything that they've done. And I agree with that. I agree with that. There have been zero consequences that have occurred with anything. So I don't think that really, for the most part, nothing is going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Now, there was a story that I wanted to share, and all of a sudden, I can't find it when I need it. Goodness gracious. There was a lady who, I think I might have saved it on Twitter. There was a lady who took the Deferred Resignation Program, the DRP, as it's called. And she has since regretted taking the DRP because she feels as though she has no purpose. And I think that this is a little bit of what that fallout is going to sit like for things to come when it's regarding this the government shutdown. So we're past the government shutdown. There's still a lot of anxiety. Workers that were remote that have been told to return to office. Some people whose jobs are really suited for remote work, yet them being told to return to office. There are people that are returning to an office where none of their workers are co-located because they work like around IT, for example. And I know because I work in IT. And depending on what your job structure is, you may work on teams that are co-located around the world, not just the US, around the world. What are you going into an office to do when you can do your job remotely and be just as effective? I would argue that for those type of jobs where you are hired remote and it can be done remote, that it is the opposite of productive to force you to go into an office that you're paying space for, having that person lose time, and having to pay because of the way that our current laws are set up, depending on how far they have to come in, if there's public transportation, having to reimburse said employee for those things that you're making them coming into the office to do when they can do it from home. It doesn't make any sense to me for certain scenarios. In other scenarios, it does, and I can understand it. But in most, I don't agree with why we're having a return to office on times that, in certain cases, you don't see a need for a return to office to occur. That's just my 2 cents on it. For those of y'all that are working remote and you've had to turn into the office, how's that impacted you? There have been people talking about it, but again, when I talk about leaders, I think if you have enough leaders that are seeing this nonsense, you can get those leaders to push back on the stupid ass nonsense that we're seeing out here. True leaders, not just managers. Oh, well, this is what this is saying and doing, so my hands are tied. I don't have a choice. I think you do. I think you do. Sometimes the right leaders put in the right position can help change the culture that's starting to decline by making the decisions that they know, because of their leadership principles, that it is the best decision for the people going forward. I get it. If you're a company and you have something that you're putting out that you need to try to make sure that people are doing the company line, I understand that. I get that. But I still think that we have leaders that should make decisions on certain things that when they see that it's dumb, they can come out and reverse that and go, yeah, I'm not doing that. When I was in the military and I had opportunities at my level to make a decision that I know would have been better for the individual person than what might have been something that came from the top down, I was willing to eat crap if what I tried to do was wrong, or if leadership found out that I was like, I ain't doing that shit. And in most cases, it worked out for me. Excuse me a second. And in most cases, it worked out for me.
Okay, take your time.
Why is my wife listening to me? Y'all, there's a story that I saw on AI. Shout out to Isdarium's in the building, said choosing to do nothing is a choice. Man, 100%. There's a story that I saw yesterday, and I'm going to wrap with this story, in which AI tried to blackmail somebody because that somebody said that they were going to shut down that AI program. And when I want to try to have this stuff set up, I don't have it set up properly, so I can't play the video. But in the video, it was about a 2-minute segment on 60 minutes, I want to say. And I have to be careful about 60 minutes because they are heavily copyrighted. But in that 60-minute clip, it showed a story about with the developers of Claude saying that they were going to shut down the program, and that the AI had access to information regarding the worker that made the claim that they were going to shut down the program, and that worker was out having dinner with another coworker that wasn't his spouse. And that it said, if you try to shut me down, and this is me kind of paraphrasing a bit, if you try to shut me down, I'm going to send out this information that is going to show you cheating and embarrass you and everything around like that kind of a story. And I thought it was interesting that AI made the decision that once it's like, oh, you about to shut me down? Hold up. Nah, try and shut me down. I'm going to release these files. I think that it's interesting. And what the developers did is they then went and they tweaked the logic a bit so that it didn't go that route. But I think we're that much more closer to Skynet than we think. I found that whole story fascinating. Definitely interesting. I think we're going to see more when we're talking about AI, more things around deep fakes. Like I've got a video here, and I'm going to see if I can bring this video up before I wrap things up here. And let me see. Come on. How do I look at and I find my past videos? Man, let's see. I might not be able to bring it up in time. I created a video. Oh, that's because I put it on a different platform. You know what? Let me just show my Facebook page here. Let me close some stuff out here. I'm going to share my Facebook page. I created this video, and it's so crazy. All right, I'm going to bring up this Sora video that I created. I'm going to have to put it over here. Give me a second. Hold on, because we're going to do it live.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Now, I'm going to share my screen. And I created this using Sora. I think the audio is going to play too. So let's take a look.
King Smith. Yada. I feel that love. Thank you. What's good, everybody? You ready to have a night? Let me hear you say my name. King Smith.
Now, first of all, the representation was crazy. The representation was insane. That's about as real. And hold on, let me see if I get that side profile. How close is it? How close is it? That was crazy. And the way that I do my signature sometimes, whenever I write or I dot the I, sometimes instead of dotting the I, I'll create this little crown thing. It added this little detail on its own. I think that when it comes to the future and politics and things, we're going to have to worry about the information that we're looking at. Is this video real? If I can put it together, and I doubt I'm going to be able to do it tomorrow, there's a video or a series of videos that the president has put out where it's just him by himself, nobody else. It's not live or anything. And when I look at these videos, these series of videos that are on whitehouse.gov, to me looks like straight up AI. Straight up AI. And nobody's talking about it. Well, not nobody. There are several people that highlighted these videos as well as like, these can't be real. Even if you're talking in front of a teleprompter, there's a certain way that you can, you have to have high level training to be able to use the teleprompter and speak in a manner that still seems natural. If you've heard President Trump speak, he is not the best speaker. Yet, in these series of videos that are on whitehouse.gov, his mannerisms and the way that he speaks is that of somebody that is highly educated and a great orator of words. And I don't believe that in any capacity that these videos are him. I'm not going to show it today, but one of these days I'm going to get these videos together so that y'all can see and y'all can tell me, hey, this is just the way that this man speaks and he's awesome at it. Or, nah, bro, that's definitely AI. Monsieur Early said, I'm proud of you and I want you to make today wonderful. Thanks, baby. And P.S., can you make one for me tomorrow after your exam? One video? One AI? I certainly can. There's some technical things that I have to do to make that work, but I can certainly make that happen. Absolutely. All right. So y'all look, it's Wednesday. We are almost close to Thanksgiving here. If you have something to be thankful for, be thankful that you're at least alive and living. Whether you want to know it or not, that right there itself is a blessing. Unless everybody around you is just trash. Be thankful for the people that you also have around you as well. Wish me luck on this exam. I'm going to be live. Am I going to be live tomorrow before the exam? You know what? I am, because doing these morning live streams help me wake up. It helps me get the brain juices flowing and things like that. So I'm going to give my ZEP date, as it's Darium called it. I'm going to give my ZEP date tomorrow. When I go live, we're going to see if these Epstein files get released by today or sometime, if the president actually signs it. Watch, I'm willing to bet that there's going to be some type of a delay that's going to cause him to wait before he actually signs it. That's my take on it. But I appreciate y'all that have tuned in. If you hadn't, see that thing that's scrolling down at the bottom right there? Hit that like button. I'm the actual King Smith, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets blare the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. I bring.